We'll now call the Plan Commission meeting of October 10th, 2023 to order. Roll call, please.
Anna here.
Shinsky here.
Lorick here. Kavich here.
Guzikowski here.
Seifert here.
Chandler here.
That will get us to the approval of minutes of September 26, 2023. If everybody takes a few moments to review them. And when you're satisfied there's no errors, corrections, discussion, motion, please.
Seifert moves to approve the minutes of September 26, 2023.
Guzikowski will second.
Roll call, beginning with Christine.
Anna, I.
Shinsky, aye.
Lorick, aye.
Kavich, aye.
Guzikowski, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Chandler, I.
Item 4 is to review and discuss recent common council actions, of which there were none. Item 5 is to discuss the recent Board of Housing and Zoning appeal actions. Carrie?
The Board of Housing and Zoning Appeals met on September 25th, and they held one hearing for one case number 230005. Request by Saifuddin Kanlar, 9139 South 5th Avenue, requesting a variance from Table 170301A, which states a property in the RS4 zoning district shall have a minimum side setback of 8 feet. Also a variance from Section 170414A7C, which states that accessory buildings shall be located per the following, and specifically for subsection C, if located partially in the required rear yard and partially in the buildable area of the lot, the accessory building shall maintain the required side setback for the full length of the property and be a minimum of 5 feet from the rear property line. The applicant or the appellant had requested a detached garage on their property. Excuse me. But the garage would be 4 feet from the north end, 4 feet from the south side lot lines. Due to the, excuse me, due to the narrow width of the existing lot, it is a pre-existing non-conforming lot, only about 30 feet wide. The Board of Zoning Appeals determined that there were substantial or unique circumstances regarding the application and granted the variance. So they upheld the appeal, and the applicant is now allowed to build a garage that is 4 feet from the north and 4 feet from the south lot lines. Mr. Mayor.
Great, thank you, Carrie. Any questions, comments for Carrie? Board of Zoning Appeals, a lot of people say, it's never going to work for them and what have you. They really do their due diligence when it comes to looking at things, and they really try to stick to our ordinance, but they do respect a case like this. I'm glad to see that it worked out for everybody. Item 6, review and discuss a report on the recent quarterly Parks and Recreation Commission actions. We will receive that report next meeting, the 24th.
Actually, excuse me, the Parks and Recreation Commission will not be meeting in October, so their next meeting is the first week in November. The next report will be the 14th.
Oh, wonderful. Right before Thanksgiving. Okay. That'll get us to new business in item 7A. We're going to review conditions and restrictions related to a request submitted by Jeffrey Pijak, Ultimate Ninja Chicago LLC, doing business as Ultimate Ninjas Milwaukee, for a conditional use permit for an indoor health athletic recreation facility within the portion of the existing multi-tenant industrial building on the property at 400 West Bell Court. Carrie.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Plan Commissioners will recall that at the previous meeting that when this was discussed, there were no changes to the exterior or to the site. So the building will remain as is, parking will remain as is for the facility. It is an indoor obstacle course style gym with different areas that are dedicated to adult fitness, what they call Little Ninjas and Ultimate Ninjas. It's based on the TV show. They will have an anticipated 10 employees, and that will be peak weekend hours, which will be mostly, for parties and things like that. So they're expected to have 20 kids and adults during the weekday evenings. That's during the Ultimate Ninja hours of 4 to 8:30 p.m. and are anticipating about 45 children with 45 guardians during those weekend parties. There are 99 parking stalls that have been reserved for the entirety of the building for all tenants. This building was constructed or approved in 2001, so it will be up to the property management firm or the property owner to ensure that all of the parking for the site is properly managed. However, due to the fact that most of the activity will be during nights and weekends, there is no anticipated conflict with the remaining tenants. So turning now to the conditions and restrictions for this particular use, Section 3 identifies uses that are allowed on the property, which are restricted to the M1's manufacturing zoning district. These conditions and restrictions and all applicable sections of the municipal code. Hours of operation between 5:30 a.m. and 11 p.m. per the submitted information. No outdoor storage, rental, sale of equipment, vehicles, merchandise, or any other materials on the property. Parking areas need to be striped, screened, and landscaped in conformance with the approved site plans and code. All signs for the property need to conform to code requirements. Solid waste collection units and recycling shall be per code, and the responsibility of the property owner, removal of snow and sidewalks, etc. Those are maintenance issues that are the responsibility of the property owner as well. Under Section 4, access and parking, those are in accordance with code requirements and also site plans approved by the Plan Commission in 2001. Section 5, any new lighting would have to conform to code and be reviewed by the electrical inspector prior to permitting. Under Section 6 for bulk dimensional requirements and setbacks, those are setbacks for the district and as well as for those approved plans from 2001. Under Section 7, the time of compliance, this is the standard 12 months to initiate, and Section 8 is the duration of the conditional use permit, which is a recommendation for 10 years from the date of adoption of the Common Council. The rest is standard for regulations, violations, penalties, revocation, and acknowledgement. If there are any questions, happy to answer them. Otherwise, there is a suggested motion for Plan Commission consideration on the screen. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Carrie. We can go right to the commission, I believe. So, Jossie, you want to start us out?
Surely, no questions, thank you.
Fred?
How many days a week are they? Is it 7 days a week or?
That is correct.
It will be 7 days?
They will be allowed to have 7 days per week. They did not specify that they would not be open on any particular day. They are anticipating parties on weekends, so that would be Saturday and Sunday. But during most of the business hours, that is early morning, 5:30 a.m. for the adult fitness to about 1:30, they are only anticipating, maybe 20 people to be in the gym over the course of those hours. So they're only anticipating up to 4 employees during those hours as well. But yes, they will be allowed to operate 7 days a week.
Flexible.
Yep.
Thank you.
Fred? Oh, thank you, Fred. Chris?
I have no questions either.
Greg?
No questions.
Ashley?
No questions, thank you.
No question, thanks.
No questions for me. Does fire have any concerns? Assistant Chief Havey's indicating no, but he's coming up.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Mike Havey, Oak Creek Fire. This was presented previously. We've had discussions with the applicant and modifications to the suppression system. Was the only acknowledgement they will have to ensure that the code compliance is relevant to the occupancy type.
Great, thank you. Another unique offering in the city of Oak Creek, something neat for probably kids and adults, maybe adults, definitely for the kids. So if there's no further discussion, motion.
Seifert moves that the Planning Commission recommends that the Common Council adopts the conditions and restrictions as part of a conditional use permit for an indoor health, athletic, recreation facility on the property at 400 West Bell Court.
Kuzikowski will second.
Roll call beginning with Ashley.
Shinsky, aye.
Lorick, aye.
David Chime.
Kuzikowski, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Chandler, I.
And I.
Okay. Next, we'll get to item 7B, and again, it's conditions and restrictions related to a request submitted by Skip Henderson, World Outreach Bible and Training Center, and Latasha Daniel, a Mother's Heart Learning Center for a conditional use permit for a private school daycare facility on the property at 6912 South 27th. Carrie?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a property that is zoned I-1. It does have an existing conditional use permit, so this is an amendment for a private school and daycare facility within a portion of the existing building. Again, no changes to the exterior or site with this conditional use permit. However, any anticipated or examined outdoor play area may require additional review and approval by the Plan Commission prior to any permitting, and that will be evaluated during the initial year or so of the proposed use. The daycare will be established first and then moved off-site after the school is established. This is just a review of the information that was presented at the last Plan Commission meeting. The World Outreach operations for this particular area of the building will be utilized for their purposes on Sundays for their outreach and training for their children. There are over 400 parking stalls on the site, as this was the original location of a movie theater, and there will be a requirement for a trash or recycling enclosure. Since this has been a vacant building for a while, any refuse on the property, there may not be a container there right now, but there will be a requirement per code for that to be in an enclosure. Up to 20 staff will be on the property once the school is established, with 8 classrooms, 10 children per classroom, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Turning now to the conditions and restrictions for the amendment. Under Section 2, there is an addition that states all requirements of the City of Oak Creek Municipal Code as amended are in effect. Under Section 3, site and use restrictions, maintenance and operation requirements, allowed uses, 1 religious institution as approved by Ordinance 2851, 1 daycare facility, and 1 private school in accordance with the conditions and restrictions. Other uses permitted by the zoning district in accordance with other applicable sections of the City of Oak Creek Municipal Code as amended, and these conditions and restrictions are also allowed on the property. Hours of operation, they're split out for the religious institution per the approved ordinance 2851, and for the daycare and private school, and that's per the information that was submitted as part of this request. No outdoor storage, rental, or sale of equipment, vehicles, merchandise, or any other materials on the property. Parking areas shall be striped, screened, and landscaped in accordance with approved site plans and code requirements. Signs shall conform to municipal code requirements. Again, solid waste collection units and screening therefore are the responsibility of the owner in accordance with code, and removal from parking areas, sidewalks, etc. are the responsibility of the landowner. Parking and access for this development are provided in accordance with sections, with code sections and all plans approved by the Plan Commission. That was under Section 4. Under Section 5, any new lighting will be required to, again, conform to all code requirements and be approved by the electrical inspector prior to permitting. Under Section 6, for setbacks, we do incorporate setbacks per the approved ordinance 2851. That is a 15-foot setback for all property lines. Any other requirements, however, do need to conform to current code. Time of compliance is the standard 12 months from the date of issuance of the permit, and the duration of the conditional permit is 10 years specifically for the daycare and private school. There was no time duration for the church whenever Ordinance 2851 was approved. Other regulations, violations, revocation, and acknowledgement are standard for every conditional use permit. Happy to answer any questions. However, there is a suggested motion on the screen for Plan Commission consideration. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Carrie. Applicant, would you like to say a few words, or you just want to wait on questions? Okay, thank you. Then we'll go right to the commission. Christine?
Yes, I actually have a question. Page 204, the highlighted one. Not really clear about the Monday through Saturday, the hours of operation is 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. yet the private school and the daycare is from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So there is an overlap here.
There is, and that is because Ordinance 2851 was specifically for the religious institution. This is an addition to that. We are not asking to change anything for the religious institution itself. This is only the daycare and the school are only using a portion of the facility, so they could also have religious institution operations at the same time as the school or daycare operations.
And the parking, that's what's going to get me to that question. We have enough parking stalls for both the employees and the parents during the religious services and the private school and the daycare?
While we don't actually have specifics for the religious institution, the existing site has over 400 parking stalls because it was designed for movie theater. Movie theater usage does have much more turnover and does require a lot more at least in the 90s, in terms of parking requirements. We don't have any concerns with the number of parking stalls on the site to fulfill the needs of this particular use plus the religious institution.
How about the playground? Is it the playground? I know you said that it's not really established yet, but it's going to be established to be secured, so the circulation of the traffic is going to be
We will,
safely.
yeah, we will have to take a look at it at the time that such would be proposed.
Thank you.
Up, Ashley.
No questions, thank you.
Greg.
No questions, thank you.
Chris.
No questions.
Fred.
No questions.
Chauncey.
No questions, thank you.
Okay. At this time, if fire has anything, Assistant Chief Havy's indicating no. I do not. We kind of went over this. I think it's a great reuse of the property. Wonderful. Can't wait to see it in action. So, with that, motion.
Lork moves to recommend that the Common Council adopt the conditions and restrictions as part of the conditional use permit amendment to allow a private school and daycare facility on the property at 6912 South 27th Street.
Seifert seconds.
Roll call, beginning with Greg.
Lork, aye.
Gavich, aye.
Guzekowski, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Chandler, aye.
Anna, I.
Shinsky, aye.
Okay, item C, we have to make a decision of a cancellation of a future meeting. And that would be a motion to cancel the December 26, 2023 meeting. I don't know if anybody has anything going on that day, but it seems important to cancel. So I don't think we have a lot of disagreement on that one. I think we're all well aware that it's Christmas holidays, so we could have a motion, please.
Seifert moves that the planning commission cancels their December 26, 2023 meeting.
Lork seconds.
Roll call, beginning with myself. Aye.
Guzekowski, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Chandler, aye.
Anna, I.
Shinsky, aye.
Lork, aye.
All right, so that'll just get us to brief announcements and adjournments. So Farmers Market's still going on. Fall Fest will be October the 21st this year. We're hoping for good weather. So you got a few weeks yet to hit the market. And I can't believe we were talking about Christmas already. Holy smokes. So, time flies. If there's no further discussion, motion to adjourn, please.
Lork moves to adjourn.
Seifert seconds.
The time is 6:20 p.m.
Thank you. Yeah, we're not used to doing that whole time thing. Anyways, roll call, beginning with Chris.
Guzekowski, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Chandler, aye.
Anna, I.
Shinsky, aye.
Lork, aye.
Gavich, aye. Thank you all.